Hello all, Jeff here with a new video back on Gran Turismo Sport to check out how I went with the Lewis Hamilton Time Trial Challenge. The mission here was the diamond everything. This took me a long time to do, but here are the tracks. Dragon Trail Seaside, and also Autodrome Lago Maggiore. They were the two fictional tracks in this event. We also had Brands Hatch GP and the hardest one of the lot, Willow Springs, as well as Suzuka, Monza, Mount Panorama Bathurst, Interlagos, Nürburgring GP, and the only one not in the Mercedes AMG GT3, the Nürburgring Nordschleife with the Sauber Mercedes C9. Now, this was the first one, which was Dragon Trail Seaside. This one, was somewhat difficult. It took me 2.5 hours. Took me a while to figure out what to do here. Braking just as you get to the red concrete. Slow out of there, get on the power as early as you can before you even hit the second apex. That's key here, so we just keep going. Now, this corner here is just a slight lift, take all the curb, braking just as you get to the shadow on the left, then get on the power as soon as you can, as soon as you're comfortable, as we get this fast flowing chicane here. So, my plan was getting the fifth, just as I got to that orange fencing on the right, brake into fourth gear, coast a little at start chicane, and then on this last apex you want to be flat out if you want to get the best run to this tight hairpin up here. So my braking point was just as I met the curb on the left, so I can meet the apex just like that, meeting it a bit better than how Hamilton went. So here we go, into the chicane of death we go. Now my plan of attack here was to keep it in fourth gear, don't touch fifth. In the middle of that curving, coast a little, get the best run so you don't smash into the walls, because you have to be fully committed through the chicane of death, especially if you want to beat Lewis Hamilton. So my braking point here was pretty much on the 100 board just before the curb, keeping in third, taking the slow in, fast out approach, getting the cut back on Lewis Hamilton, and it looks like it's just going to be enough to beat Lewis. Yes it is, good stuff.
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
It sure was a mega lap, and I was trying really hard for that one. Next up, the other fictional track on this list, which is Maggiore. Personally, I hate the first sector of Maggiore, but I love the rest of the track. Braking at the end of the shadow there, putting it into second gear. You can use this yellow concrete if you want, as long as you don't have four wheels over the red and white, you're perfectly fine. Now this corner is normally flat out, but it's not with this challenge, and we're going to put it back in the second here for turn 3. Try and use as much of that curve as possible, get the best round out of there, because this double apex right-hander is crucial. So you want to be braking pretty much at the end of that little concrete curve on the left. Try not to use that much sausage curve on the apex. I mean, I did use a little. Now here, you want to brake pretty much just on the curb there, putting it in the third gear, using as much curve as possible, coast a little into this bit, coast a little here to get the best run. Normally it's flat out, but not in this build for the AMG GT3. Perhaps balance of performance is turned off, so it might be a stock version of the AMG GT3. Anyway, we go plunge downhill to the hairpin. You want to brake at that light board on the left. Keep it in third, or you can keep it in second, or you can use third, whichever one you're more comfortable with. Going past that banked hairpin, so cool. Now this quick chicane's normally flat out, but at the second apex you just want to coast a little, just back off a little bit just to keep it on the track, put it in fifth. You want to brake just before the 50 board, use as much curve here, use the curve on the outside, or else Lewis Hamilton will smash you in the last 3 corners of this lap, because he is very, very strong in the last sector. Now in terms of braking pretty much at the 50 board, keep it in fourth or put it down to third. Got an okay run, it could have been a bit better, but you know what, I've just got it done. That's a diamond, good stuff.
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
Yeah, I think that a lot, Lewis. But anyway, here's Interlagos. So diamond time here is a 1:30.9. So a nice long straight. So you want to be braking just after the 100 board. Put it into second gear. take a slow approach because you want to use all this curve at turn 2 as much as you can, even if it's like 2 wheels on the curve and the other 2 on the grass. That's perfectly fine. You need 2 wheels on the curve or you will be penalised for that, just so you guys know. And you're going to brake at the 100 board, brake hard, put it in the second. You don't want to go on the AstroTurf on the outside because that will kill your lap, just so you guys know. But you know, this one took me a while to do as well. Braking pretty much at the 50 board, putting it into 3rd gear as we, you know, take it, you know, nice and flat. And now this hairpin here, use some of the grass because you will gain time doing that. Make sure you have 2 wheels on the curb or you will be penalised. So that's one thing to note here. Anyway, into this corner, pretty much brake at the beginning of the curb at, well, the Alex Albon Punterino corner, if you could call it that. A slight lift here, you know, these tyres are squealing for grip here. Braking, probably between the 100 and the 50 board, put it in the second. Use the outside curve if you can, making sure you don't get on the grass because you really need a good run out of this straightaway because, you know, it is obviously a very, very long straight. Stick to the inside so you can shave off as much time as possible. A lot less distance, and there's a 30.8, and that is diamond. Good stuff.
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
And yes, another mega lap from myself. Now the next one was the hardest of the lot. Willow Springs. This took me like 4.5 hours to do. Easily the hardest one. You want to brake pretty much at the end of the shadow, put it into 4th gear or 3rd, whatever you're more comfortable with at turn 1. Now this long turn 2, you notice a red dot on the bottom of the screen. You don't want to go fully right because you will destroy your tyres, you will lose a bit of grip. So just the tiniest bit off on the far right as you possibly can. Braking just before the 50 board into 3rd gear, getting nicely onto the power. I prefer to keep it into 3rd for this corner here. Now the next corner, you can use the sand and you'll get away with it as long as you have 2 wheels on the curb. Perfectly fine. 3rd gear, use a bit of sand on the inside as well. This corner's flat, but you have to be really committed. It's very easy to get on the sand here. So that's one thing to note. Now brake bias for this, I think I was using rear bias 1 or 2. Now I have set my Hamilton Ghost to be 2/10 ahead. Anyway, braking at the 150 board, putting it the 4th or 5th, whichever you like, but you really do not want to hit that curve on the inside because it will bounce you around. Now, is this going to be enough? It looks like it's just enough. Diamond at Willow Springs, happy days.
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
And indeed, it was a mega lap. But yeah, what I decided to do with the Lewis Hamilton Ghost was there's a setting where you can offset it, so I made him start 2/10 ahead of me. Now here is the Mercedes C9 at the Nordschleife. Now, the tip for this one is to know the track and to stay on the track, because I feel Lewis Hamilton isn't going 100% here as we go through Hutzenbach. You know, it's a very tricky one, this. Obviously, the Nordschleife is a very, very hard track to learn, but in the same sense, the level of difficulty isn't anywhere near as high as it was at Willow Springs, which is interesting to note. But, you know, and keeping off that curve on the right there, because if you get on that curve before, it will bounce you around. So that's just one thing to note. As we go up through the Flutplatz, you're just going to just back off ever so slightly at this double apex corner, then going to get on the power on the last apex to get the best run out of here. So, you know, it's nice and flat through here. I will tell you what to do with the credits and all that on the back straightaway. Flat out through here, make sure you brake probably a good second before the end of the curb, or else you will be in the sand. Keeping it in 3rd gear because, you know, this is a Group Secret prototype. Turbocharged V8, it's got a lot of turbo lag. You don't want to be smoking up the wheels all the time. So that's just something for you guys to note. So here we go, taking that curve. You can afford to use it because it's a very, very quick corner. This little chicane section here, I've never seen it get right no matter what game I play. You can use a lot of that curve there, that's perfectly fine. As we plunge down this quick straightaway, you know, feeling a bit comfortable here, going past the Rebel Tree. Anyway, you need to back off a little bit here and then into 3rd gear, or you can use 2nd. Yep, I'll use 2nd because I did go in a bit too hot. As you can see, Lewis's Ghost going ahead of me here into 2nd gear. Now, Lewis's Ghost, I have set it I've set it for every single challenge for the rest of the video for 2/10 ahead at the start. Anyway, we go to miss, hit, miss, and that is pretty much miss, hit, miss. Good stuff. Now this corner is it's very easy to outbrake yourself here, as Lewis has done here. So, yeah, and you can see I'm taking a long time to get to full throttle because of all that power in this mental piece of kit. Keeping in the third here. Now this corner, do not use the curb. I've learnt that the hard way in Forza for many years. Now we're going to go to the left-handed kink, which nearly claimed Nicky Lauda's life. And then we're going to Bergberg. Keep it in third for this one. I did get on the curb. It got a bit slidey there. Some people might use second gear, but you could produce a lot of wheel spin doing so. Now this bit here, the uphill is very quick. Now for those that don't know, getting a bronze time gives you 200,000 credits, silver 300,000 credits, gold 500,000 credits, diamond 1,000,000 credits. Just so you know, put in the fourth gear for this very quick sweeping corner, and you slide a slit there and brake just before you get to the curb. Put it into second gear for this one. So as you can see, it's taken me a long time to get to full throttle, and now we're going to plunge down the carousel. Use the concrete at the carousel. You can use it, but you need to be very gentle on the throttle. Don't even think about going flat out into banking, or you will spin. Just so you guys know, this corner almost flat, just a slice of lifts there. Now this section is really cool, but I felt I was losing a bit of time to Lewis Hamilton through here. Just making sure I kept the thing on the track, you know what I mean? Because Nordschleife is not my strongest track, so don't do enough Nordschleife. Now I could have used a lot more curb on those two turns, but anyway, here you can use the outside curb. Make sure you don't use too much grass, or it will send you into the fence on the other side. So just to note there, as we go through here, it's very nice. As we go to YouTube corner, making sure I don't bin it in front of all the videographers and photographers. Nicely done there. I think it's YouTube corner. I could be completely wrong. But anyway, now here we go. Some cars will get airborne here. Surprisingly, this one doesn't. Putting in the third gear to make sure you just get it turned. Nicely done there. Now flat out through here. You might get a bit of air, but you'll get away with it. Now this section, flat. Don't even think about lifting. Just keep the pedal to the metal. But this turn here, put it into fourth, and then in the third gear here as we go towards the mini carousel, which I actually completely stuffed up. You don't really want to be right on the curb at the mini carousel, just so you guys know. Now this corner here, don't touch the curb or else you will lose a lot of time, as I did just there. And I'm just going to understeer wide, and Hamilton has passed me. Now, with those credits I just told you about, if you get a gold lap before you get bronze and silver, you'll get 1,000,000 credits straight up. Now, the other thing is, when you get all golds, you will receive 20 million credits, and your credit cap will be increased to 100,000 credits. I recommend spending it all stuff on like the D-Type Jag, the Ferrari P4, Ford Mac 2, something like that. Braking hard in the Tiergarten there, into second gear. As you can see, I've gained so much time. Lewis is so slow on the straight for some reason, and he's very slow getting on the throttle here. It's so easy making time here, and there's a diamond out of nothing.
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
Indeed, it was a mega lap. But you might think it's very hard, but it's actually one of the easy ones. So if you know the just know the Nordschleife, and you're halfway there with that one for diamonding the time. Grand Hatch was actually a bit of a tough one. Paddock Hill, you want to brake at the 50 board, and Druids, you want to be pretty much braking at the start of the shadow on the bridge. You can use a double apex for this or a single apex, it's totally up to you. Braking at Graham Hill Bend, just at that board before the ripple strip, use all of that AstroTurf, that is perfectly fine. And you're going to brake pretty much on that last board, put it in the second gear, slow in, fast out, because you really want a really good run out of 30s as we go to the back straight away. So as you can see, I've got one brake bias to the rear as we go into Hawthorne's brake pretty much on that second board. Putting into fourth gear, you can plunge down to third if you want. Now this turn here, pretty much at that red fencing you would have seen before the last board. That's where you brake. Third gear and then into fourth. Sheen curve, you want to be braking just before that second board, using as much curve as you possibly can, and braking just before this last board into third gear, or you can use second if you like. Now, for the last turn, I decided to change my brake bias because I felt I was sliding a bit too much. So braking just before the last board, put it into third gear, get the best run as you possibly can, use all that curve, and then get right along the inside, and there is a diamond time at Brands Hatch.
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
Next up, Monza. I did this on stream, so the quality isn't as good, so I apologise about that.
Thanks for tuning in, Jay. Probably nearly better off just turning the ghosts off. I don't know. Good. No ghosts. So I can just focus on that braking marker and nothing else. So I'm curious where that dry patch of grass is after the 150, like second wise. It's pretty much 100 board. 100 board. Alright, Parabolica. Yes!
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
Thanks, Lewis! Woo! I knew we'd have it at Monza. Yes!
So back to my guide here. So yep, back to talking and back to much better quality. So I do apologise about the streaming quality. Still learning the nuances of my new PC. Anyway, Bathurst, brake at the 100 board into hell corner. Get inside that white line if you can. Use a bit of curve on the outside. So, you know, I'm using 0 to the front, 0 to the rear this time for brake bias. Again, you may be wondering, yep, I'm doing things in a different order. That's because this was the order which I dominated the times in. Braking at the 100 board at Griffin's Bend. Put it in the third gear. Use all this curve if you can, or if you want. Now the cutting is crucial. Just a slight lift here. Braking. And you need to be nice and shallow, because if you can go wide and you're braking on the line on the outside, you will spin. Now here in the repark, keep it in third, slight lift, then get on the throttle pretty much as soon as you pass the apex. Keep it in fourth here as you go through the grate. Don't even touch the grate, you don't need to in this game. Keep it in fourth here for McFilling. Make sure you don't hit the inside wall, very easy to do in GT Sport. Put it in the fifth, then the Skyline, nice little coast, fourth, third, then put it in the second. Nice like that into the dipper. Make sure you don't go completely over that patch of grass at the apex, or you will get penalised. I only just got away with it there. As we break into Forest Elbow, you got to, you know, really ride the apex there to get the best round out of there, and to get the best run onto Conrod Straight. So yeah, as I said before, I'm doing these times as I diamonded them, so not in the actual order of the challenge. So I apologise about that. But you will see all of them as we plunge down the chase, flat out through here, pretty much braking on the 150 board. We're going to keep it in third. Use curve if you want, unless you don't want to, in case it really upsets your car. As you can see, I haven't got the best run out of the chase, but we're going to brake on the 100 board into Murray's corner. Try not to touch the curb. Nice and gentle on the throttle to get the best run out of here. And we're just going to get enough to beat Lewis at home in Australia.
Wow. Where did that come from? Mega lap.
And yes, that was a mega lap. Cool to see Bathurst there. Next up is Suzuka. So interestingly, they make you start before the chicane. So you've got to get a good run out of the chicane. You're putting the brake bias on 2 to the rear. So you use all of that curb area. Use as much curb as you can. That's allowed. So we go through here to the main straight. Now interestingly, for all the tracks Lewis has driven on, he does a little 1 minute video on tips on how to drive the track. Anyway, braking on the 54, putting in the 4th, then in the 3rd. You can use 2nd if you want, but I was more comfortable in 3rd gear. Get a nice smooth run out of turn 1. As we go through the S's, you don't want to go too hard here. You want to coast a little bit. You know, try not to brake so hard. Try not to get on the throttle so hard. And then apply the brake a little bit here. You've got to be nice and smooth through here, or you will lose a ton of time. I lost a lot of time through this corner because somehow Lewis just finds a really good way to control the throttle through Dunlop. Anyway, we go into the first degner, braking just before the 54, use all the curb and putting it into 2nd gear for the 2nd degner. I was Lewis gained a lot of time out of the 2nd degner, so you know. Now for the hairpin, braking just at the end of the curb, put it in the first gear. That's your best chance of getting a good run out of there, and using all that curb on the inside as well. That's your best bet. As we go through 200R, obviously flat out in a race car. Lewis loses a bit of time there, so maybe got a wheel on the grass. Braking just before that little escape road, putting in the 3rd spoon, and then into the 2nd part of spoon, I put it into 2nd. If you're more comfortable with 3rd gear, go with 3rd. Now we go to the back straight away. So, you know, I'm touching distance, but one thing to note is Lewis isn't that quick through 130R. Leave it in 5th here. Pretty much brake at the 50 board, use all of the curb at 130R, try not to use the outside curb or you will spin. Braking just after the 150 board into 2nd gear, use as much curb as you can without penalising yourself. That's your best bet, just abusing the track limit. Get on the inside to get the best run, and there you go. That is diamond.
Where did that come from? Mega lap.
Okay, the last one I did was Nürburgring GP. Now, basically with this one, you really just got to keep up with Lewis and hope you make a lot of ground at the chicane towards the end. The braking, you know, just before you get to that bit of grass after the road, putting in the 1st gear at the hairpin, just smashing a bollard into oblivion. 1st gear, leave it in 2nd gear, just coast through the apex there, put in the 3rd, then in the 2nd, coast through turn 3. That's your best bet to get the best run out of here. Then the turn 4, use as much of that outside escape road as you possibly can. You can do that, unlike Forza. Now here, you're going to brake pretty much on that grass there, putting into the 3rd gear, and then into turn 6, put it into 2nd here, get a nice good run out there, use all the curb on the exit, as I've done there. As you can see, Lewis is gaining a little bit, but you're going to brake at the beginning of that curve on the left, put it in the 2nd gear. You can take it as a double apex if you want. That's what Lewis was doing with his reference laps a few years ago. Schumacher S, you have to give it a slight lift at the beginning so you can get the best run, so you're nice and flat for the rest of it. So just so you guys know, and we are going to brake just after the bridge, put it in the 3rd gear here, take all that curve on the inside, and then here nice and steady, try not to use that much curve on the inside, use all of it on the outside though. But where you're going to gain the most time is the chicane. As long as you've got 2 wheels on the red and white curves, that's fine. And maybe Lewis doesn't know this because you're going to gain a lot of time. Look at this. On the outside, on the 2nd one, look at that. That is almost a penalisable offence, but I've got away with it. As we go into the last turn, use all that curve on the outside. It will help you and get the best round out of here. So obviously the chicane helps so much there, but that is all diamonds complete.
Wow, where did that come from? Mega lap.
And now we have a message from Lewis.
Woo! Congratulations on achieving all diamond times on all tracks. I'm super, super impressed. It took me forever to get those laps, just so you know. So it is very, very, very complex. Obviously, having to use all your skills, you know, finding the right braking balance, finding the right braking points, the turning points, hitting the right apexes, and just having that consistency. So trust me, I did plenty of laps. So happy that you've done it. What I would just want to say is that if you use what you've used to deliver those laps on those multiple tracks, if you use that in your everyday life, that determination, that drive, and that sheer will to improve and be the best you can be, I truly believe if you use that same focus, you can really achieve incredible things. So make sure you apply that to your everyday life, because that's what I do. And that's why I'm able to do all the different things as well as race. So I just want to encourage you to do that and be the best you can be. But until then, I've got to go away now and try and beat your times. But I want to say thank you for playing. Thank you for your consistency and your energy. Take care and keep driving hard.
Thank you, Lewis, for this. It's, you know, a lot of hard work there. All Diamond Times gives you the Lewis Hamilton edition of the Mercedes Vision GT. All Bronzes gives you the Mercedes AMG GT3. All Silvers give you the Sauber C9. And all Golds give you Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes Formula 1 car. In Australia, this paid DLC is worth $12, but if you want a really good time trial challenge to improve your speed consistently, this is the DLC for you. But yeah, I mean, it took me all week to do all these times. It was definitely a challenge. I missed some FIA races just to do this challenge. And there's an Australian's guide on how to do that, especially if you're not an SS rated driver. So, you know, if you want to give it a shot, I recommend doing so. But yeah, there you have it. So if you did like the video, smash the thumbs up button. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. And if you've got any advice for myself, please let me know. And if you want to see more, subscribe and tap the notification icon. Anyway, this is Jeff here, and happy racing. Cheers.